Led Zepphead wants to know, in the boardroom with his core team, is Vince erratic and unreasonable, or is he serious, businesslike, and open to opinions and ideas?
The latter. It depends on the room, but he's generally very organized and structured in that respect. But then he's easily distracted. And I don't know, that may account for his ADD or whatever. But he's easily distracted, but he doesn't come in as he's not a Mr. McMahon character, although at the flip of a switch, he can become that. But normally he's a very strategic businessman. The only thing about Vince is that, he's easily swayed. And sometimes the last person out of the audience with him is the one that closes the deal. And sometimes that's not always a good thing. But no, he was fine. He was not, he didn't come in, blood veins bulging, face red, nothing like beads of sweat, whatever. He was fine. Everything was good in the meeting room. Some poor, unknown, uneducated bastard sneezed. Then all bets were off.
Interesting question here. I love these type from Gary. If you could have one last dinner with 3 wrestling legends who've passed away, who would it be?
Oh, wow. Well, golly, that's so hard.
Maybe Gorilla?
No, you know I'm going there. Gorilla, Bobby Heenan, Gene Okerlund would be 3. I could take boom, boom, boom really easy.
What about Dusty? He's on there somewhere.
Oh, God, yeah. I say you can't do 3. I said, how do you name, when you have so many dear friends that have passed,
right?
Like we have, it's just hard to leave anybody off that list. If you're going back in time, I said, well, I want to have dinner with John Wayne and Mickey Mantle and, guys like that, but boy, in wrestling, the guys that love me and help me under really challenging times, Dusty would be on that list, but certainly Gene and Gorilla and Bobby. You can't, if I had a chance to invite Bobby to a dinner and I didn't, and the guys that came to the dinner found that out, they would be disappointed because he would always be the star of the show. He was the star of the show when he worked with me. I was just there to feed him the ball. I was a little point guard, and the brain did the scoring. He shot the threes, and he hit the majority of them. But, Dusty would be in that group, obviously. We just had so much fun together, had so much in common, such, friendly rivals with this Oklahoma, Texas thing. And but if I could do 4, Dusty would be in that list for sure. Or if I did 4, Dusty would be there. And the guys I mentioned, Gordon, Gordon would be good. I didn't mention Gordon. So you can't do it. You can't. It's like saying, who's on your Mount Rushmore?
Right.
We mean today or tomorrow or an hour, 10 minutes from now, because it's going to change. So it's not an automatic deal. Who's on your if you're a fan and you haven't had personal relationships with these men and women, then it's easier to make that decision. And remember, it's very argumentative. It's very subjective. But when you know them, Conrad, like you and I have known guys, it's hard to exclude those fellas. How could I ever exclude Dusty Rhodes from a last dinner? You couldn't. But then where do you start? Where do you draw the line? Well, you're going to put Gordon in there? Well, yeah. And then Gorilla, of course. Bobby Heenan, without a doubt. Mean Gene? Yeah. And the list could go on, actually. But it's just hard to do when you know and love these people. And that's I've seen a picture the other day. Somebody sent me a picture on Twitter, @JRSBBQ if you're interested. Hey, it's Conrad if you're interested on Twitter. We like it. I saw a picture from Sheffield, England, 1993, me standing between Lord Alfred Hayes and Bobby Heenan. And we did a show over there, I think it was for Sky Television. It was the next show I did after WrestleMania in 93, WrestleMania 9. And I'm looking at this picture. It brings back great memories. I even remember the tie I was wearing. It brought that back so vividly. And then I look at it a little closer, and both my partners are gone. I think, God, JR, you better get realistic here. This journey's going to end some of these days. Enjoy today, man, because tomorrow's not guaranteed. that's kind of what I've been working on. But you never know. So that's a great question, though. It's fun to talk about things like that. It's like saying, well, what would you have what would be on the menu? I don't know what the menu would be, but I know what the bar would be well stocked.
Jay Green wants to know, any good Klondike Bill stories?
Well, Tony's got more Klondike Bill stories than me because Bill migrated from a territory strongman character babyface, which he came through Oklahoma as, where he did all the feats of strength and so forth. Bill Solowico, the Polish strongman. Before there was Ivan Pesky, the other Polish strongman. He was getting ready for a big push in championship wrestling for Leroy McGurk, and he had a habit of stopping off the Fort Smith bus station, where some of the ladies of the evening and day were holding court. And on his way to the matches on a Wednesday night, because he's on TV there every week, he was kind of a little quasi-star. But somehow, under those escapades, our newly minted, going to be a top babyface, Klondike Bill, got syphilis of the eyes. So that put him on a shelf for a while and also ended his push. McGurk could only think of one thing, of how a man would get syphilis of the eyes. His face would have to be in a close proximity to the inflicted area. And that was a taboo. You could not have oral sex in that territory.
Oh, my God.
And so I'm going to, he finds this out, that the guys are enjoying that delicacy, as it was told to him. He had not sampled it because, he lost his sight in the early 50s. He wasn't going there at that time. And so he wants me and Leo Voss, the old referee, who was my mentor, to go to Little Rock and fire everybody there that we perceived enjoyed oral sex. I'm serious now. 250-mile drive. So I'm driving. Leo's shotgunning it. I said, Leo, are we really going to fire guys? I'm 22 years old. Hell, I ain't fired anybody. I'm a punk-ass ring guy, referee, gopher, McGurk's driver. He said, let me handle this. So I'm thinking, okay, because I sure as hell don't know how to handle it. I don't want to handle it. I'm just driving. We stop in right outside of Fort Smith, which is about halfway there, and call the office. And call collect. Of course, when you call the office collect, you always call this Gene Kaninsky. They refuse to call. Shows up when, then the number's there. They call you back to say 30 cents. Seriously. So Leo calls collect, Gene Kaninsky. I think Mrs. McGurk got the phone. Finally, they talked. You guys can come home now. He had more to drink. He got real woozy. We took him home. Forget it. Just come back. Don't say anything about this to anybody type deal. So we turned around. We had a nice meal at a truck stop there in I think it was Roland, Oklahoma, somewhere in that neighborhood, near Salisaw. So, and then we came home. But we were going to fire the whole territory that participated in oral sex. Now figure that one out. That's an HR issue, huh?
Yeah. I don't know how you explain that, but.
Well, there's no HR. There was no HR, and thank God we didn't have to explain it. Thank God cooler heads prevailed. But those are stories of the Wild West that without HR and unions and all these things, there are no unions now, but, it was just every day was a crazy ass adventure for a 22-year-old kid fresh off the farm.
Rick Spade wants to know, I've always loved your commentary, but one thing that always stuck out to me as odd was the fact that you had to push at Halloween Havoc 91, the reefer eye camera or refer eye camera. I guess reefer, maybe as much as we talk about on this show. What can you tell me about the idea behind the refer eye and the awkward commentary because of it? Now, I guess we should let people know you guys tried something here in 91 in WCW where you put a helmet cam on the referee. So there would be shots in the show where instead of just doing the regular hard cam or maybe Jackie standing on the ledge of the ring, we would really get inside the action with this referee head camera. And this is a different time in sports. I know that if you watch this sort of in a vacuum, that may not make sense, but people were trying this in things like basketball and baseball and football specifically. Is that sort of the influence to why you guys tried this, and why did it ultimately not make it?
Yeah. Other sports, other entities are trying it. Somebody in production, within TVS, it wasn't Keith Mitchell's idea, but somebody in production, I think they maybe try it with a Braves game or something on the home plate umpire. I'm not sure, but nonetheless, it was suggested that we do it. I think Jim Hurd was trying to make brownie points with the upper management there and going along with it, cooperating. It was the stupidest idea that you could imagine. It's one of them really dumb. It's worse than the Abdullah the Butcher getting, KSC'd in that big chair. It just, so it was hard to get emotionally invested in that angle. It just really was. So it was just ill-fated. Nobody wanted to do it. It was dead before it started, but we had to do it anyway because the commitment had been made to TBS brass that we'd give it a try, and it sucked. I felt bad for Nick Patrick. He's a damn good referee, but the idea sucked.
Chris Kringle wants to know what caused Ricky Steamboat to leave WCW after the '89 Great American Bash.
Well, which of the two C's you want to pick from?
There you go.
Ricky was in a very unique marriage. He got re-resurrected. Those three matches with Ric Flair in '89 are still legendary. They're still great teaching and coaching tapes. Any talent that wants to get refreshed or get motivated about the business again, or maybe it's a little thing here or there that they might add to their own repertoire that would fit them, they should watch these three matches at some point in time. And now with the accessibility of them on the WWE Network or wherever, why not? You learn from them. But I think he came off a great year, and I think he perceived that he was getting a low ball offer.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.